Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. More, hate less, read comics. It's Blake's Buzz Live.
Buzz, buzz, babies.
Hey everybody, what's up? I'm so happy everything's working. Oh goodness, I don't know if everybody watched the last live stream. That was a clusterfuck and a half. Goodness gracious, all my audio quit first thing. Everybody, the show started 10 minutes late. That's never happened. Anyways, everything's working tonight, and it seems to be it's a Monday, but the Monday's over. Now we all get to relax and maybe read some comics, talk about some comics. That's what we're gonna do here tonight, folks. I've known this guy for quite a while now. He's good people, and he's got some exciting times to talk about, and he writes really good comic books. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got Mr. Joe Corallo in the house. Let's bring him out here. Let's see what he's got going on. What's up, Joe? All right, everybody, calm down. He's just a comic book writer, everybody. Calm down. He's feeding his ego already. Hey, how you doing, bud?
I'm all right. Actually, speaking of this, I was walking the dog earlier, and I walked by a bee. So
I'm glad they're still around. We need them.
Right?
I hear.
Yeah.
Do you remember when, like, before the world was going to end in a assortment of other flavors, but that was one of the big ones I remember hearing about, right? Was the bees are gone. There's no pollination. The world, You're not fucking flowers. The world's going to fucking end. And all that fun stuff, we like to think about.
Before that, with the bees are dying, which was like a plot in like a Doctor Who episode in like the David Tennant era, that got mentioned at some point. But before that, though, it was the killer bees were going to get all of us. So there used to be those like special news reports and like those like hour-long specials and how the killer bees were coming out now that it was getting warmer. You never hear about killer bees anymore.
That's true. You don't. Well, now we got fucking murder hornets, right? The killer bees have subsided into the murderous hornets. Sorry.
The murder hornets, though, I believe those were in Japan, but then they came over to like Seattle or something a few years ago, and then we stopped talking. But we stopped talking about them. Like I think after they got to Seattle, that was like, oh well, whatever, right?
Yeah, hipsters can fucking deal with it.
Oh sure. Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned the killer bees, because you know what else I remember about the killer bees was they also said that the killer bees were going to kill, much like the murder hornets, were going to kill the regular bees. So it was like we had this bee on bee violence, which was scary, right? And then now we've got it's just like everything's always wants to like come after the bees. And then wasn't it like, didn't Black Mirror have an episode where like all the bees were little robots and they made little robot bees to pollinate the flowers so the world didn't end or something? That's all.
I mean, that sounds right. Yeah.
As long as humanity carries on like we deserve to forever, undisturbed, then we just leave our garbage where we want to and live forever. Yeah. That's all we want. That's all, speaking of what we want, Anthony, what's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. And everybody else who's watching, hanging out, thanks for watching live. As I mentioned, I've known Joe a while. The last time I think I actually talked to Joe, though, was oddly enough on a comic book burrito late night live stream.
Right.
I was sauced. I was sauced and a half. And then that was a rough night.
They don't do like live streams or whatever really anymore.
Cole's, because Cole and I were doing Blake and Cole read a book for a little bit, and then he still reads comics, but like he said, he's just not into talking about comics all the time to random people. And he really is into disc golf. He really got into he likes going outside. He likes to get his exercise in and stuff like that. And he's really into disc golf and he's got like a disc golf YouTube channel and stuff now. That fucking prick. Like I'm like hustling to get to 1,000, right? And he got to like 1,200 on his YouTube channel, and he was like, "No, start a new hobby, new YouTube channel, nothing big." And we're like,
but how is the disc golf YouTube community?
It's got a nice little niche. There's a lot of people like he's already got a sponsor. Because people that are branding and stuff, because it is a smaller YouTube community, right? So if you start getting a little bit of traction, that can make people notice you in a good way. So he's already got like he's got like a sweat towel sponsorship thing. So you can like make sure your hands are dry when you throw the disc, because you can't be throwing discs. You can't be throwing discs with wet hands, folks.
Well, sure, but Blake, for those who don't know, including myself, like what goes into playing disc golf? I'm not really sure what the rules are.
I don't even really know. I know there's like a net with a chain on it, and you heave discs. There's different discs that do different things.
Well, what is this bizarre game?
This bizarre phenomenon is called disc golf. And you'd never call it frisbee golf. I found that out. That's offensive. You will get told to leave the church brunch if you call it frisbee golf.
But like, where did disc golf, like, is this like a North American thing? Did we take it from someone else? Like, where did this come from?
I think it happened here. I don't know the exact origins. So let's ask the old.
We should really figure this out before anything.
Yeah, we'll get back to comics, folks.
Yeah, forget disc golf.
Of all the times I wish Cole was like tuning in. I wish he was like I wish he was watching right now. Yeah, it's very and same terminology, like birdies, eagles, par, like it's stuff like that.
But like how does it work? Because like you can't throw a disc. Like
it's much
how
shorter.
far you could hit a ball.
Yeah, like, it's like it's instead of like a 300-yard course, it's a 300-foot course maybe, and maybe like there's some trees and stuff. Sometimes they're around lakes, so you got to watch out for water hazards and whatnot. It looks like it originated in 1976 by the old Steady Ed Hedrick, is considered the father of disc golf. Had many patents beginning in 66 and 67, and the concept of disc golf, however, has a long and blurry history. So apparently there's a lot of dark and murky waters around the history of disc golf, but it did come from America, and it came from around the 70s, and it's now my algorithm's all fucked because I try to support Cole and like all his videos and stuff when I see him, and now YouTube's like, this guy wants more disc golf content, and I'm like, can you not tell I'm a comic book streamer? Like, anyway, yeah, I'm just kidding. YouTube's perfect. Thanks so much for having me. Love the party, love the show, love being here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I hope he's taking. Yeah. I feel like Joe's taking notes right now for some new comic maybe. We got Kit here. He's listening while DoorDash screw. Oh man, freaking DoorDash. You know
But to clarify here, so listening while DoorDash screws me over on my deliveries. So are you getting multiple deliveries? Or you're actively door?
Yeah, are you the dasher? The dasher?
Are you the dasher? Or are you more like a Blitzen?
Yeah,
hey, we were right on the same page there. That's great. Wow, that's great. We should celebrate over a game of disc golf.
Amazing. It's funny that you're so funny in real life, because your books aren't funny at all. No, well, you don't write.
They're deadly serious. You're the dasher. That's where I thought, but
yeah.
I think communication is very important.
It is.
I don't like making assumptions.
That's how you get in trouble. That's how you get in trouble. You make assumptions, and then someone gets mad at you. And then if one person gets mad at you, and then the internet gets mad at you, and then it's downhill from there. Is what I hear. That you just got to stay happy and perfect, fine all the time. Don't formulate an opinion if people might disagree with it.
But is there a downhill in like disc golf, or do you have to play on like an even sort of?
No, there's terrain. Okay. I mean, there's like I've seen courses, like I haven't played, right? This is just from like YouTube feeding me videos because I like Coles sometimes, but like. Some of them are in very, very rural wooded areas. Like there's not much around. And then, like I said, sometimes they're throwing over around lakes or throwing down a giant hill or like you throw the Frisbee up and it like kind of coasts down a small mountain. It seems like, so yeah, there's a lot of different, and then there's some stuff in more suburban areas that are like, next to like parks where people ride their bikes and walk their dogs or like, next to a brewery, or Cole and his family went to a brewery the other day and there was one. So yeah, there's, and I'm sure there's like course difficult, like you can go to like somewhere you gotta like hike 20 minutes to get there and like sacrifice a goat and drink the blood of its heart or something, like.
But now I'm also wondering here. So like, like how golf they have, there's those like like basically, God, what do they call those? Like those shooting ranges or whatever for golf. Like what
like
are
a
they
golf
called?
course?
Like a
shooting
course.
range, a shooting range.
Shooting range. It is called a shooting range, right? So do they have like a disc throwing like range, or can
I think you just go. You just go.
You only just go.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not fair, right? Like golf you get a shooting range, you get mini golf, and then with disc golf, it's just like that's it. It's just disc golf.
Just disc golf, yeah.
So I guess because it's so different than golf because it's a disc, it's not a ball.
Yeah.
But it's like part like of the golf, like the overarching golf umbrella. Is that what we're?
I feel like real golfers probably wouldn't want you saying that in certain.
Sure, but this seems like it's over this bigger like golf umbrella when it really should be more of like a frisbee thing, and like part of like the frisbee, part of the frisbee community. But like I feel like disc golf here, that's a weird range to sort of be at.
Speaking of range, it's driving range. Thank you, Ian.
Driving range
in the house.
That's the only thing that makes sense, is that it's a driving range. Like it doesn't make sense that it would be a shooting range.
But it really doesn't either, because you don't have to use your drivers at the driving range. You can bust out the irons. You get fucking weird and use your putter if you want to get weird about it.
That's fair. But but no, like are there like famous like disc golf courses? Is there an equivalent of like a PGA tour?
I think there's some nice ones. Yeah, there's and then there's like sponsored like tournaments that they don't show on TV, but they like show on YouTube, and people have sponsorships. And
but like who's sponsoring
other frisbee frisbee companies?
Golf,
lots of frisbee. There's a lot of frisbee companies that make like specialty, like there's like putter discs and like driving discs.
Wait a second. There's putter discs? Are you like
different sizes?
I don't know materials. Disc golf. So you have to you have what's the golf? You have like that golf bag, with all your clubs in it. I can't think of what it's called. Your satchel, your rich man satchel, whatever it's called. And so like for golf, you have a one too and a lot of these guys go to the course and they'll take 20 discs with them. And they all do different shit. And some of them are just for putting. Some go straight. Some are known to turn. Or they call it like a hyzer or something. I go, why do I know so much about this, Cole, bastard? That's fair. But like, do you have to always bring like your own discs and you got to like keep track of them? Or do like some of these courses?
Yeah. No, you bring your own shit. And then they have poles. You bring like extendable poles to get your discs out of trees and stuff if they get stuck in a tree.
This sounds like a lot of work for a sport that I have to imagine isn't held in high regard. Just I don't mean
it's gotta. I didn't know much. Like I said, it's all new to me.
I'm in good enough shape to play disc golf.
I could play disc golf. You could play disc golf. We could go play disc golf right now and probably smoke cigarettes while we do it, Joe.
Probably.
Sure. I mean, and if that was, I would use that. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, but goddamn if I don't always want one. So you want to give me onto a disc golf course, I'll just follow a trail. People like to say like follow the trail of breadcrumbs. This will be like prison. I'll follow a trail of like, wasted cigarette butts that you should have, you put out way too early. I'll just follow you with those and smoke them. Well, I guess I really want to smoke a cigarette. I don't know why I'm talking about cigarette. I've talked to Joe about some weird shit. In the short time we had a weird green. I went on a weird green room rant. We've now gone on a weirder disc golf live stream rant that you're all privy to hear, that everybody gets to listen to now. And
Yeah.
Now I'm just jonesing for cigarettes. Like,
yeah, no, you're jonesing for cigarettes. I'm gonna get swarmed by the disc golf community probably.
yeah, they're gonna come. We're never gonna buy your books again, Joe Corallo. Like,
that's it. It's over now.
We thought you respected the community. Like, this is not
like
what I thought when I read Beckstar. Like this. Oh goodness. But no. Speaking of Beckstar and some of the cool stuff you've written in Mad Cave, the reason why you decided to put up with my bullshit was to talk about a new book that you're doing. Oddly enough, that's for audiences that shouldn't be watching my show necessarily, but you're writing about King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, like bunch of nerdy, morally righteous football players, high school football players get transported away. Ooh, look at that foil on the cover too. That's a nice looking book.
Well, this is a limited edition one. That's not necessarily the one you're gonna get. These are the ones I got in the mail. Just wanted to make sure. I believe you can order this version directly on the Maverick website, though. Just
cool.
saying.
Well,
so you can pre-order now.
Oh yeah, I go ahead. Yeah, because it's not. It comes out in the next week, the 24th.
Next week, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is this one of the first times you've had something come out like this? Is like all the way like right to graphic novel?
Yes.
Other than being in you've been in some anthologies that released like together.
I've been in a number of anthologies. I've edited anthologies as well. But this is my first YA OGN, which was it illustrated by Gaia Cardinelli, lettered by Chaz Pangburn. What was it? Lauren's the editor, and she might be watching this as well. She really helped like everything in terms of making all this happen, and also a little special treat just for me in a way. The back cover is done by Sean Von Gorman, who is one of my earliest comic friends.
Nice.
So
that guy's a sly little devil. They like they've liked me forever because I called their I can't remember what Ghost Planet. I said it was like Junji Ito in space, and they've liked me since then.
That is nice. Junji Ito does do some cosmic horror, but that's still nice.
Yeah, I wasn't as familiar with him when I just because I'm only 2 years into manga. Yeah, yeah. Duh, I don't know my shit, Joe. That's my shtick. What kind of glass are you drinking out of? Like some kind of Flintstones fancy Burger King glass?
No, it's just like this, a sort of frosty little glass. I try to drink out of glass when I can to avoid all those what do they call them, microplastics.
Oh yeah, I thought you hated to I don't like listening to turtles like complain. There's like
I don't like listening to turtles complain either, but we're all talking about like microplastics now, so it's
I think that's what the discs in disc golf are made.
They might be.
I don't know. I think it's
how much does a disc golf disc like go for?
Oh, it depends on the brand. I think you can spend up to $20 or $30 a disc, or you can get like packs of them for 50. You probably get like a decent starter pack for $40 or so. That's got like a few different kinds to hit a course with,
but they're all like plastic.
Yeah. Yeah, plastic. Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Sure.
Yeah, nothing. Apparently, we're having some cigarette discourse about not the jazz. Oh wow, they're saying some discs can be $50 or more.
Oh wow,
you can get a lot of jazz cigarettes with that. I would rather get this. I have a sick look, everybody's fucking. And what weird algorithm did we follow? Like when I say disc golf and now like disc golf people, I hate whatever gets the fucking metrics, right? Like we'll talk disc golf all night if you guys go out pre-order Joe's book right
Absolutely. Now. But you know what? The weather's been great lately. Like
it's getting nice.
I've never played disc golf. I can't tell you ideal disc golf weather, but like I was out today here on Long Island, and it's like 77 degrees out, not too windy.
Yeah.
I have to imagine that's good disc golf weather, but I don't know.
Yeah, you don't want rain. You don't want, you don't want crazy wind. Because I mean that wind can just, it can just take those discs and put them where you don't want. Just God will just have a time with it. Just take you out back, do stuff. I don't know where I was going there, but it's the wind. It can be rough on a flying thing. So you got a nice calm. Now you don't want it to be too hot. You don't want to get out. Like I said, you can't have a. You don't want sweaty hands slipping on the messing up your heaves and your hose and your stuff, and you don't want the beers in your backpack to get too hot. You got to make sure the beers stay nice, because if you don't have backpack beers, you're just fucking. You gotta have backpack beers and jazz cigarettes on your disc golf adventure there. Like why play? That's
all very eloquently put.
Yeah, I try. Speaking of, I believe your editor is here now.
Yes, Lauren is here.
Where were you earlier, Lauren? This show definitely
she was
needed
probably
some
here.
Editorial guidance.
I'm sure she was here the whole time, and was riveted by the disc golf, the disc golf discourse.
Oh, hey. There you go.
That sounds like a YouTube.
That's a channel name.
That covers disc golf.
Maybe I'll do it too. Maybe I'll just leave. I got the big name in comics now. I'm just
just start cashing that disc golf money.
I'll just take my. Oh shit! Ian did it. Ian's gonna do it.
Oh yeah. No, you should do it. But give Cole a run for his money. Why should he get to dominate?
Why should you get to reap all the disc golf rewards? And
absolutely.
Yeah.
And based on what we were saying about the qualifications to play disc golf, I mean, you look like you'd be a great disc golf player.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can, the diabetes hasn't taken my feet yet. I can still get outside. Oh man,
perfect. That's all you need.
Speaking of having your feet taken, what's up, David is on? No idea what that segue means. I ate a bunch of edibles earlier, and that's gonna get weird.
You know what, Blake? I couldn't tell at all. There's no way to tell. But no, it's good. That's good. But no, it's great seeing David here. I mean, I can't imagine David wanting to
come on my show. Yeah.
The two of us talking about disc golf.
Disc golf. Oh man. Yeah. You never know where Blake's buzz is going to take you. That's one of the magic of comic books and the magic of live streaming.
It could take you to Camelot.
It could take you
where
to Camelot.
You could watch Arthur King and the Knights have to stop Morgana's evil plan to take over Camelot.
Yeah,
it could. It really could.
And I also want my name to be Sir Lug. I just need that. It's a good
Sir Lug's great.
He's awesome.
He's a great guy. He's a really sweet guy. And I hope that's the takeaway.
Yeah. He's a sweet, chunky boy, and he's got a cute.
He's just trying his best.
Yeah, he's trying.
Lug's just trying his best. It's great.
He can play disc golf. He can get out there and play disc golf. But no, I really did enjoy this, Joe. It was super fun. It had a great message. You really did throw me for, because I remember when I was getting the art and stuff ready to make promo, I went and grabbed the preview, went to Previews World, right? And it's they had a preview page, and I was clicking through it, and it's swords, knights. What are these football players doing in this preview? And I was like, okay, and I was like, I'll wait to read the solicit. I'll see what happens. And I read it, and then that switch happens, and I was like, oh, and there's this moment early on, slight spoiler, but it's early, and you guys already know it's a football team, and they go to Camelot, right? So. But they open a locker and all these acorns fall out. And because of how we're being introduced to the team, I thought it was going to be like a hazing mean thing, it's something to do with some of the guys on the team and what's going on. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, what is that? And then I was like, the tree. And I was like, oh shit. That was so cool. And it reminded me of I used to read this book, Animorphs, the K.A. Applegate, who wrote Animorphs. She did Everworld for a short time. I think it had like maybe 15 or so books, and it was YA high schooler fiction, but it was a little darker. It was a lot darker than this, but these random high schoolers, all in different cliques, don't usually hang out together, but some of them know each other, right? They all get, when they go to sleep, they get transported to this fantasy realm, and they have to like fight wars and survive and shit. And then when they finally collapse from exhaustion in the fantasy world, they wake up in the real world and they're fucking like in the middle of a test or something in high school. And so their minds never get any rest, and they kind of start losing. It's kind of fucked up, man. And like they start there's just so much tension because their bodies sleep, but their minds never really sleep, and they start getting kind of confused and losing it on top of like having to survive this like fantasy tapestry, right? Yeah. It's gnarly, but this reminded me of that because it's not as dark and not as like cerebral psychological, but there, it does mess with some of these characters, and it does put them, even though they are righteous, right, in tone, like it puts them in positions where, they have to act and be different, for the narrative to kind of, and I thought it was really cool, man. And you do fantasy really well. Like I appreciate I like your fantasy, and you're able to do it. I think it's cool that you're able to write fantasy that's catered to all sorts of age groups. Is that hard to do that, to kind of to think about certain audiences, or to keep some themes, you can explore a little bit, but you can't go too far. Like,
no, I get it. It's certainly not as hard as trying to consider disc golf a real sport, but no, it's it's not too bad. It's I mean, I got to really do everything I wanted to do in this book, in terms of like the story I wanted to tell, because
He's here. Dude, Cole, it's been 20 minutes of us talking about disc golf, and Joe asking me about it like I know what I'm fucking talking about.
Oh, incredible. Anyway,
what an episode. What a time to be alive.
what an instant Blake classic here. But no, I mean, the way I look at these sort of things when I tackle them, it's, it's kind of a pun because they're a football team. So when I was working on this, I mean, I'm basing it on the pre-existing cartoon, and then there's elements of that. There's updating it. There's considering the audience, but there was really nothing in the story that I had to be like, oh, well, I can't do that in this, because, I guess in part I'm already familiar with the property and kind of like the expectations of it to an extent. So that maybe also helped. But I mean, just putting the story together, like I got to pretty much be as like violent and explore some of the darker stuff in a way that I think I could have also done in a more mature book. But it's all about doing it in certain ways, maybe silhouetting certain things, maybe implying certain things and not showing them. And I think that works and can sometimes, a lot of times, be better than just the shock value kind of stuff you get. So I didn't really feel hindered in any way by the fact that this was a YA book.
Nice. Yeah, because people die, there's action, there's blood, there's really great sword fights. It's got great it's illustrated absolutely beautifully. And it's a different, it's not your traditional comic book size, right? It's a more digest. Is it digest size? Is it more square?
It's a little more let me
grab that bad mammer jammer one more time. Show the people what they need.
So let's see, like,
okay.
So yeah, it's a little smaller.
Looks
but
huge in your hands, though, right?
Oh yeah, because of my tiny, dainty hands. But let me It's so, but I mean, comparing it to like a manga, you know what? I've got this cosmic horror Junji Ito book here. Let's use that for a comparison.
That's not even a regular manga to compare. That's a hardcover. That's special manga.
But still, it's still more or less like the same size there. So nice. So it's about the size. Like if you're a big fan of like the cosmic horror of Junji Ito, then you're used to this.
Is that Censor? Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah, Censor. It's great.
It's Amazon keeps telling me I need to buy it, and I'm like, leave me alone.
Yeah, probably because it's good. Yeah.
Thank God. Yeah. It's I can't because I fucking I interviewed a really big writer the other day, and he inspired me, and that interview cost me a lot of money. I went and bought a lot of his books, and then I bought two Justice League International omnibuses. And I was like, wow, that's not sustainable to do an interview and spend $300 afterwards. So you can't do that anymore. So
yeah,
I bought all my books. Say,
you must be rolling in it then. But yeah, Lauren, you can highlight her comment there on the standard size of the Maverick books.
Nice, thanks, Lori. Is Lori does Lori, is she like a Maverick?
Lauren.
Does she edit Lauren edit a lot of Maverick books? Like
yeah.
She's like a staff editor. Okay.
Yeah. No, she is. I'll even let me get the exact title. Yeah, senior editor is the exact title. It's right in there. So just so we have that.
I'm glad you put it out there. Like I don't want to be on some senior editor's bad. Mad Cave loves me. Like I can't fuck this up. Like
you don't want to fuck this up.
I don't want that's what I meant. Like I can't I'm not like I can't fuck this up if I tried. I could watch me fuck this up, guys. Like, but no, like Mark's been there for me in a lot of ways. Mad Cave's like just been real cool, helping me schedule shows and just like shouting out like my, like putting, they've always been very kind to me as press made me feel more, more specialer than press. Those are real words, but
sure.
Cool company.
It's as real as the sport of disc golf.
Yes, that is. Watch out because Cole already called the cops. What's up, Gio? Thanks. Another awesome. I met some of you cool Mad Cave people when some of you guys came to Kansas City. Just name drop Tom King. I tried not to. I tried really hard not to. Mad Cave love. They did. They gave us a book that we gave away. We did your book on that, Joe. We did Dolly in the Dark. That was a really one again.
Oh, that's
like
nice.
Why I mentioned like I really dig your fantasy. You're able to. You're able to take even like a traditional fantasy narrative like Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. You're able to like put an interesting twist on it, and like we've even seen like time jumping alternate reality narratives and stuff too. But this football team, I don't know, man. It's just it's different and it's fun and it works really well. And like it's these varsity jocks like. They're also like some of them are kind of insecure where they're not like the varsity jocks you think they would be, right? And then when you put swords and armor on them and put them up against like dark wizards and shit, like you really, it's a little bit different than running from defensive tackles, right? It's like it's cool watching them adapt on the page. Like you all did a really good job with that.
Or I guess standing or briskly walking like in disc golf.
Yeah. It's also, you got to think about carrying the pack, right? Because when you get 30 or so of those discs, the bag, a lot of them like to bring GoPros and extra batteries and little Bluetooth speakers to pump out their jams too, right? Probably a water or beer. Like I said, some of them, you got to bring the road beers with you too, right? But Cole has a real cool like tripod wheel thing that he puts his bag on and pushes it around with.
I gotta say, this is the first time and possibly the only time the phrase "really cool tripod wheelie thing" will ever be uttered.
That'll never happen again.
No.
And what's crazy is how sponsored I am about to be. Like once people like see how good I am on a mic and how like the just naturally disc golf pops up in discourse like throughout the channel. Like you would think BCW might throw me a bone, right? And maybe give me a discount code to hand out for bags and boards or give me like cheap long boxes or something, or, like, no, but like we're going to get you some sweat towels and, get you there's subscription boxes you can get, Joe, where you get like random discs every month, more discs than you even know. You get more discs than you can throw in a lifetime, just start putting them on shelves and shit. Cole dyes his discs. Even he puts them on like a record platter and it spins and he pours dye on it, makes little designs and shit. Sometimes he gets notes from dead people written on discs. He found a note from a dead guy, or it was a disc from a dead guy that they like left in a tree. And then he had to like throw it in another tree. I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. It was like a guy's memory being tossed from one hole to the other. Like a college scumbag. One hole after the net. All right, that joke didn't pan out. But, that's why I do this. That's why I don't do stand-up. Stand-up's hard. You got to go to Texas and be on Kill Tony to do
You look
that.
more like a sit-down comedian.
It's, like I said, I still got my feet, but barely, right? I feel like... You gotta wear the fancy diabetes socks and stuff. I don't have to shoot myself up yet, but, yet. Oh, hopefully.
So comics, huh? Comics are pretty great, right? Yeah.
Did they have insulin in the King Arthur days, or did Merlin just cast a spin? He was like, "You don't even have Snickers or Cheetos. You're fine. Like you're gonna die at 30 of an infection."
Maybe.
Didn't they all?
We
wasn't like the
cover
average
that in the
lifespan
book.
like 30, like 32 or something? Everybody died real young.
I feel like but that's
historian.
different though, because when you're thinking about that and historical average life expectancies, when you're talking about like people that like fight in wars and and stuff like that. I mean, when you're averaging that into like people who are between like 15 and like 25 going to like fighting these things and getting killed off. I mean, there are plenty of people. Like it's not like everybody, but plenty of people lived a decent amount of time.
See, I thought everybody died when they were 30. I was kind of thinking maybe that's just how humans were like maybe we're not meant to last longer than 40 years. That's why like our bodies start doing terrible things after that. It's just like after 40, what do you got to live for anymore? I don't know.
That's pretty bleak for I think a lot of people in the chat.
Yeah, I was like, I will be 39 this year, so it's like those reels. Like, do you ever see like the reels where it's like, what would you do if you found out you weren't going to wake up in the morning, and it shows someone like just jumping into bed like all happy, like snuggled up. I'm like, wow.
I mean, I probably wouldn't floss that night. Feel like, well, it's not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I would. Yeah, if you're gonna die, what's the point of flossing? If Jesus doesn't care about your sins, he better not care about your fucking plaque. That's just ridiculous.
Absolutely.
You're gonna start.
I'm not gonna do those teeth whitening strips or anything.
You don't plug in like the UV box in your mouth before you go to bed, and it's like
no. Although anyone who gets a close look will know I'm not doing that currently anyway. So that's not a problem I have.
Oh yeah, I see those sometimes where it's like
no, those like UV light. So so I've seen some of these where it's like they do like it's like a red and a blue light, and it's supposed to be like for sensitive teeth that they have this like extra light or something. But I haven't really looked too into it yet because again, clearly I'm not doing that. But yeah, I guess that's interesting. I don't know. Is that good?
I don't know.
Shooting your mouth full of UV light. But it's you're putting a gel on too, right?
Yeah,
like
you put like a gel. You put like you rub some shit on, and then you put this thing in your mouth, and then you plug it into the wall, and your power dims for a second, and then it's like.
Yeah, but you like keep it in. Oh, it's like 5 minutes or something like that. Like shooting your teeth with UV light while you've got like gel all over it. And it's this gel that it's like, don't worry, it's fine. But also if it touches your lips or gums, like call a doctor.
Call a doctor immediately. If your lip is hard for more than 4 hours, please seek medical attention.
But it's the things we do to try to look young, right?
I know, right? You gotta stay pretty to survive in this crazy comic book world.
Absolutely.
That's why I do this and don't make comic books. That's why.
Absolutely. This isn't going to last forever. It doesn't get better. It only gets worse from here. There's no version of this where it's like, 10 years later, and you'll look even better. That doesn't happen.
I don't know. You never know, man. 10 years of standard disc golf practicing, those
standard disc golf and UV light shot in your mouth.
Yeah. And edibles. Add some dosage of edibles to your regime there. That's what I would do. David says teeth whitening and disc golf. Hey, David's watched a lot of my shows. He's been on a lot of my shows. Yeah. He's been privy to some weird shit. I don't think we've ever talked disc golf and teeth whitening before. It's the first.
Well, I mean, it was time. We were due.
Yeah, it's been plaguing me, y'all. I've been real busy. I got all these. I'm just hoarding like giant interviews right now, just of like icons. That I'm just like, I'm too busy to edit this video.
But you are never, and the listeners, none of you are too busy to have the teeth you deserve.
True. Yeah. And you're definitely not too busy to go touch some grass and throw some D. All right.
It's a nice time of year now.
Yeah,
weather's
not too windy,
good.
not too rainy. So, there's no snow, no magma, or there's no. I bet, as popular as disc golf is, I bet on a lot of these courses, you probably get a lot of room to yourself. You don't have a lot of like mouth breathers or Karens coming for you, right? Like, do you have a license to play here? Or whatever they're doing. You can't fish here. You gotta wear pants. All the weird shit they tell you.
Do people bet on disc golf?
I'm sure you could. I don't know. That I don't know.
Yeah.
That I don't know.
Interesting. But if you want a safe bet, it's picking up King Arthur and the Knights of Justice.
Yeah. Start there.
Joe Corallo.
Yeah.
Pictured here.
Yeah.
With the book King Arthur and the Knights of Justice.
And you can even get some of his other cool Mad Cave titles, like the sci-fi romp, which is also very humorous. When I made a joke earlier that he was so funny, but his comics weren't, I was being a dick. True. But like, but it's like Beckstar is very humorous. Oh my god, and the art in Beckstars too. It looks like they drew everything with colored pencils. Like I love the look of it. Like, and the coloring is like akin to that too. And it's so beautiful, fun.
Thank you.
And then you were in the
Lower Your
Sights anthology with them, which all these you are available right now that you can get.
It's true.
And you can pre-order King Arthur, and you can get the Dolly in the Dark trade.
Also true.
All from Mad Cave. This guy is just what do they do? Where do they know where like the bodies are buried? They're like, you'll never leave, Joe.
No, I actively want to do this, but also if you think you're gonna like King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, the following month, so in May, end of May, is the Princess Guinevere and the Jewel Riders, which Jordi Belair wrote. I'm blanking on the rest of the team. I wasn't anticipating plugging this, but that's another fantasy YA book coming out. That's also from the same licensor, 41 or 41 Entertainment. So you might as well get both while you're at it. Why just get King Arthur the Knights of Justice? I think you should definitely get that, but also get Princess Guinevere and the Jewel Riders. Why not?
You said Jodie Hauser's doing that?
No, Jodie Belair.
Jodie Belair. Oh,
Jordi Belair.
Yeah. Okay. Another great Jordi. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Jordi Belair. Yeah. No. You're good.
I've done this before. I can hear. It's my feet that are going bad, not my ears. Maybe it's
There
all
you
good and
go.
bad. I'm almost 40. It's all downhill. We talked about that
Sure.
already. But so you know, you used to do a lot of editing. I know you were because I work at Metal Ninja Studios now, right? And so we do a lot of work with like Comics Elite and Merc and I've had to go through like some old issues for stuff for projects and blah blah blah. And I've seen your name in editorial on some stuff for Merc books and
Dynamite.
You were even doing Dynamite, and then you were doing oh my god, you worked at Xenoscope too. Did stuff there?
No, I didn't do Xenoscope.
Okay.
I like you, but I did edit the Carmen line, which is an OGN with Dennis Hopeless and Peter Kowalski through Mad Cave. So you can also get the Carmen line
is really good
from Mad Cave as well. But no, I've edited some stuff over at like Black Mass, Comic Mix, Away Blue World.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
I could have sworn I thought you did something. I thought like you worked on a Pat Shan book at Xenoscope. So I
did. Pat Shan and I collaborated once. I did a short for Destiny New York Volume 4 with the Anthony character in there, and I came up with a little thing to like fix a very minor continuity thing that popped up that's like was no big deal, but I'm just like really into continuity, so it's like, ooh, I can fix this very minor thing that no one cares about. And he was like, yeah, sure. So, but no, Pat's great. But also the Carmen line, which I edited, great. And almost as
voyeurism
great
in space, very cool.
King Arthur and the Knights of Justice.
Not voyeurism in space, but
not at
cool
all.
Knights and magic. And like I said, I really was Gaia Cardinale.
Yeah.
The gorgeous book, great colors too, and Chaz is like Chaz letters the shit out of everything too over there.
Oh yeah, no, Chaz is great.
They know how to make good books over there. That's why they're having 10 strong years and celebrating it strongly and proudly as they should be.
Yeah, but Chaz was the letterer on the Carmen line. So I got to work with him as a letterer on that, on King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. He also came in towards the tail end to do the editing on Dahlia in the Dark. So I've gotten a chance to work with him a few times. It's been great.
Very cool. Yeah, I like I said, love Mad Cave. Another, you've also we mentioned you've got some cool stuff coming up.
True.
You're doing you got to do something really cool that not a lot of people are ever going to get to say this. You got to work with Rachel Pollack on the Never Ending Party. A very cool, another very beautiful. Also like divine in the realms of like fan. It reminded me of like Kieran Gillen's Wick Div a little bit, right? Like, but that kind of weird, that kind of sexy, like that kind of side of divinity and gods and magic. You guys put a cool spin on it. And you both did such a great job, and you got to work with her and tell stories with her, and you were talking to her when she got sick and all all that stuff happened, and now you are going to be a part of the DC Pride special that's like it's reprinting a Doom Patrol short, and then it's something that's never been printed before, and then you're doing a backup story for this character, right? That they're showcasing. And
yeah. So with that, it's DC Pride, a celebration of Rachel Pollack, and that is going to reprint in its entirety Doom Patrol number 70, which was reprinted in the omnibus that came out in 2022. But that's the only time it's been reprinted. Brother Power, the Vertigo Visions. The Geek one shot, which was, I believe, Mike Allred's first DC credit, but that was, Rachel wrote that. And that's an oversized comic. That's about 56 pages.
Okay.
And I'm really excited for people to check that out because I really love that comic. I have my copy signed by Rachel, but
oh, that's so cool.
Then got to do a short, 10 pages, myself, Rye Hickman, and I got to work with them on the first volume of Deadbeats. We collaborated on a story together for that.
Okay.
So it was a great opportunity to get to work with them again. And John Workman, who lettered the original Doom Patrol run of Rachel's, came back to do the lettering, and it's focused on the character of Kate Godwin, Coagula. And there's a lot of other little Easter eggs to Rachel's run and things like that. And I really, I hope people really check that one out. Who doesn't love Mike Allred? In addition to celebrating Rachel, this new story with Coagula, and hopefully this will be the first of many stories that she will be featured in DC in the years to come. So
very cool. Yeah, I think it's awesome. So that's gonna be like an 80, 90, 100 page thing almost. It sounds like
that's 96 pages, I think, something like that. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So that'll be like you're basically buying a trade. That's gonna be a nice special to get. Yeah. What was that like getting to work with Rachel, getting to tell that kind of crazy story? And how did that like come to be? Because you're both very you've both put your work in on comics, right? Like you both it's not like Rachel came from movies and you came from comics to help with the story and a script. That sometimes happens, and I get that, but you're both seasoned in the field, like you know the name of the game. Like, how did you guys come together on this Comixology original project?
I mean, I read her Doom Patrol run and emailed her, and she emailed me back within 20 minutes saying thanks, and we kept in touch. We got to be friends. She lives in Rhinebeck, New York. Went up to visit her a few times. We got to, I had her in the Mine anthology to benefit Planned Parenthood that I co-edited with Molly Jackson. I had her in that first volume of Deadbeats, and I sort of created this idea initially with the idea of getting to collaborate with Rachel, and she liked it. She added her own elements to it, and pitched it around. Chip Mosher, who was the head of Comixology Originals at the time,
now at Distillery,
really, now he's at Distillery, but that was his call to publish that. So
cool.
I'm very grateful to him for giving Rachel and myself that opportunity, as well as Eva Cabrera and all the other people that worked on it. Noah Shorma, who was the editor on it, who's now an editor over at Marvel. So yeah, it was a great opportunity. We had a lot of phone calls breaking down the story, and emails back and forth. It really was a lot of fun. And it was horrible that things worked out the way they did, but I'm really looking forward to people being able to celebrate her through her comics work in a couple months.
Yeah, so cool. She reminds me, or her story a little bit reminded me of Annie Nocenti. Like when Annie got on Daredevil, right? Like Frank had just wrapped it up, and no one wanted to touch it. No, everybody's like, I'm not going on after Frank,
Sure.
No way. And Annie was like, I'll do it. And what does she do? She comes in, shake, rattles, and rolls, writes this modernized epic that when you read today, it's like reading, it's akin to reading Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, right? It feels very now, very pertinent, very lofty and dreamy, and prosy, more prosy than we're used to now in modern comics. But thematically, the verbiage, stuff like that feels modern, right? And Rachel reminded me of that too, because Grant wraps up fucking Doom Patrol, and it's like, all right, who wants to follow Grant Morrison? And it's like, no, I'll go after the guy who followed, or and Rachel shows up I'll do it. And what is Rachel writes this other huge run that ties into Grant's, that does her own thing. She brings in new characters, does all this huge iconic Doom Patrol mythology stuff that they still talk about today, that then got replicated in the show, the live action show too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then of course, I don't regret it, but I spent some bucks buying all the single issues, and I got one of those Vertigo. I think I got the Vertigo Presents you're talking about, or at least it's the Vertigo Presents that has the Doom Patrol short in it. But I got.
Oh yeah. No, I know that one. Yeah.
So there's two. She did two. She did another one that's got like a different character.
Well, that was there's the short, which is also in the omnibus, is from, it was like a Vertigo. It was like a Vertigo Jams
Vertigo
thing where
Jams.
it was like
that's what it was.
It was like a bunch of like 8-page stories from all the different Vertigo titles. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think Neil's got a Sandman short in it or something like gnarly. Like anyways, I buy all these comics on eBay. And like I got some of them were kind of affordable, and then like some of them were like, I think the most expensive one was I think the final issue of the run was like $20 or something maybe. And I got them all, and like what a read, like goodness. I haven't finished Grant's run yet, and I read hers, and like, and it was so cool, dude. And then right, I mean like, not long after I get these issues compiled and start my read, is DC announces the omnibus. Then they canceled the omnibus. Now it's back. You can get it right now, and it like on the. I need to get it. I still plan to, but it has like a similar like black and white spine that looks real nice to Grant's omnibus. They look real great together on the shelf.
Yeah.
Very funny how like sometimes DC just nails it on the spine game in these editions, and then sometimes they're like, well, we're gonna change it 4 volumes in. Like Marvel does it too. I think my Uncanny X-Men omnibus spine volume 5 looks I mean, they just do it. But anyways, those two beautiful books look great next to each other. Rachel is amazing.
Yes.
I've always like tarot is interesting to me, and she also wrote that like one of the tarot card books that's like still like actively printed, read, sold tons of copies, like most, like a lot of people in that realm, or I don't know, that scene. It's a big
78
book.
Degrees of Wisdom. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, like, so she's just a very cool lady, and wrote very cool comics, and I think it's so cool you got to work with her, and I think it's really cool that you know you get to kind of champion her past work and like be a part of that, and cool for you too, man, because you've done a lot of work and a lot of editorial and a lot of production side stuff, and you know how the donuts get made, and you also like eating the donuts, and you also like designing and making the donuts. There's a lot of donut stuff going on in your life, and I appreciate that basically, but I'm glad you're getting your DC deal, man. I just think it's real cool. I've watched you for a while. You write great stuff, and I'm glad other people took notice of it, and you're getting to have that. So
thank you.
You're welcome. Let me make it really awkward. Sorry. But it's cool. It's cool. And I've just, she's so cool too. And such, you know, fuck cancer. It sucks. And, you know, but as you know, I'm glad you got to work with her, and that's like the anthology stuff you've done. Again, like you've done just a lot of real cool indie comic shit, man, and you just continue to do it. Was that always in your kind of path? Like, because a lot of people, that's their goal, right? They're like, I gotta put my work as, you know, it's crowdfunding, it's indie publisher, and it's ending up at Marvel or DC, right? It's like that's my sight. That's all I can see at the end of the tunnel. And other people are like, no, I like indie comics. I want to be here. Like, you know, what they do over there is cool, but it's not for me. Was that always kind of something you were striving for, or were you just in the right place at the right time? Or
no, I mean, it's I really like comics. I'm fine, you know, with the indie stuff, more mainstream stuff. I mean, I read sort of all sorts of stuff. I was reading a French graphic novel yesterday, Beauty, which is just gorgeous. MBM put that one out. I recently read through Matt Emmons, the Council of Frogs, and I picked up the Gardener from him the other day. Like you know, I read.
I have those. I need to read those. I'm so bad about reading my Kickstarter books. Like I back all that stuff, and then it shows up. I usually don't read anything really until someone comes on my show. Now, like, I mean, it's just, I'm busy. So it's like, I you know, it's prepping for interviews and client stuff. So
Yeah, no, but that,
I had to
and
read
then,
all, I had to
I
read all
also,
your shit this week. No,
but no, it's that. But then, I try to keep up on, some of the other stuff, that some of the other publishers I've
yeah.
been working with, been doing, or like, I try to keep up with, like, some of the stuff going on with Superman and things like that. So yeah, I mean, it's sort of, all over the map. Obviously, the Junji Ito stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mhm.
You gonna do manga next? You gonna go there? Is that...
Probably, I don't know about that, but.
I don't understand. I love it. I've recently gotten into it, and
Mhm.
I love how affordable it is. I love how
Sure.
it stays in print
Mhm.
for the most part, right?
Okay.
I learned that the hard way, like with Chainsaw Man, everybody was like, don't spend $30 on volume 1. Just wait a few weeks. It'll show back
Yeah.
up. And I was like, no, I want it now. And then but then the rest I waited for. And then of course now, like, I should have waited and got the box set that they just put out. But anyway, regardless, I love this. Comics should do that. I don't know, man. Like, they're not super fancy boxes. They're just like little dingy cardboard boxes with Velcro nubs on them, and they throw a folded poster in it, and it has got a handle on it. But I love that shit. I love it. Like, it's all full of books. I don't know. It's neat. Like, comics should do that. It'd probably be a lot more expensive if you bought like a box of 20 Marvel trades.
Probably, yes.
Be a little pricier, or like hardcovers or whatever. But yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, so you've been at Mad Cave. You're making your way over to DC. Done some cool stuff at Black Mask. You've done the Kickstarter anthology stuff. What you got any? I mean, obviously, you probably can't talk about everything, but I mean, I feel like you seem to stay pretty busy, Joe. So like, you got a lot of, like, is 2024 looking good? Like, you got stuff up your sleeve? Like, you're gonna get to.
I'm working later? I'm working on some stuff I can't announce right now, but I'm working on other projects. Definitely.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Who's someone, just throwing it out there, like manifested or whatever, but like, who's a cool publisher that you've been watching that you haven't worked for, that like you might be interested in doing something?
I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of people. It'd be nice to do something, I guess, at like Boom, you know.
Yeah.
But now Boom or like IDW, I haven't done anything like directly with. But yeah, I mean, I've been very lucky. I've gotten to work with a lot of different publishers and different people. So I really can't complain in terms of that. And I've been able to build some solid relationships with different publishers, where they've like Mad Cave, where they've given me multiple opportunities to work with them. So yeah, I wouldn't trade that for anything.
Nice. Yeah, you haven't seemed to have pissed anybody off yet, which is good. Everybody seems to like you and have great things to say about you, which is nice. Even Joel, my boss, Metal Ninja Joel, like, I told him about the scheduling snafu, right? I was like, oh, dude, just because like everything, so much shit happened last week, and it was just like, I was like, ah, and so I was like, oh, dude, Joel, this happened, and he was like, tell Joe to calm down. He said he made a joke about it, and I was like, yeah, and I didn't think about it. I forgot, because you guys like knew each other from Merc and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. I was like, but yeah, everybody loves you, dude, and it's cool. It's in a land where where you see, like, you'll be like, oh, this guy is great, and then you find out, no, well, they're not, and then, or like in that world we live in. But it's there's nice to be reminded there's still good people out there. Nice gems writing good comic books with cool swords and sorcery and knights and spells and curious about taking up disc golf. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen
maybe I'll be a convert after all.
But we did talk about how Joe is a good guy, and we all know what happens when you start playing disc golf. You don't stay good for long. Go right off the deep end into the point of no return. They'll come for you once you get into that disc golf. That's why Cole can't do comics anymore. They just don't. They say there's no gatekeeping in comics, but you start playing disc golf, they kick you right out. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I don't get the hatred. Yeah, sad. Maybe we'll in that disc golf memoir you're writing, taking notes on. Maybe we'll find out one day. Maybe wouldn't it be interesting if like a group of bar patrons from the 1700s like went to change a keg and a bunch of acorns fell out and then they got transported into a community college parking lot where they were all getting ready to go play disc golf.
Yeah, I mean
that'd be a wild twist. I would probably not pre-order that comic, but might read it if someone emailed it to me as press to check it out. I don't know. It said someone would buy. Anyways, that's why I do this, and I don't. I was about to say that's why I don't make comics, but I kind of do make comics. Okay. I just don't write them. Okay. I just don't write comics. I make them.
Yeah, that's still important.
Yeah. All right. Well, Joe, I know you've got to wrap it up. I've kept you for a while. Real quick. Where's do you have like a newsletter or anything like that you want to shout out? Let us know where to keep track of you.
I haven't done the newsletter game yet, but I do. What was it? I'm on Twitter and Blue Sky at Joe Corallo, JoeCorallo, and on Instagram at Corallo Joe. So people can follow me there.
Very cool. Yeah, highly suggest you follow him. Keep track of what he's doing. The stuff he's been doing at Mad Cave is very cool. Like really encourage you to go check that out. And yeah, as I said, like this Rachel Pollack deal, the Pride special. What's the date on that?
June 4th. First week of June.
Oh, right. So like I would tell you, I'm sure there's probably gonna be some cool variants and stuff too, but that's gonna be a cool like you said, like a 90-page nice deal to take that. Yeah. It'll you get to read that for a while. Maya Lopez says, "What's up, Maya?" And then Lauren, everybody, look at you just bringing all these fancy people to the chat. Everybody tuned in live, like thank you so much for hanging out. And Joe, I'm so glad we finally got to do this. I know scheduling with me is so fun. I do apologize for the mix up and stuff. Thanks, Pierre. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, man, unless you got anything else left to say, sir, I will play the music and set you free.
I'm good.
All right, everybody, get out there, buy Joe's books. Check out King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. It's very, very cool. Check out everything Mad Cave does. I love them. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be back. So I'll see you then, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. This is the wrong movie.